Alrighty, so it is 7 p.m. and as it says, we will start promptly at 7 p.m. So just in the beginning of this, it's going to be some administrative things for the meeting. We've got a good number of attendees in, over 50 right now, and still more people coming in, which is great. So you'll have a little time to get settled. Q&A will be available throughout the entire time. We'll be monitoring that. But we've kind of laid out a schedule so this can work systematically. You can get all of your questions answered tonight, and we will lay this out. So moving along, this is a BSA function, so we want to get started with the pledge, the Scout oath, and the Scout law. But who better to help us with that than our camp directors? So I will have the camp directors kind of lead us in this beginning part.
If everybody would do me the pleasure of joining me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Two.
So we're now going to do the Scout oath, Scout sign. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to honor my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
Cool. And lastly, the Scout law, Scout sign again. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Two.
Awesome. Thank you guys for getting that started. All right, so some key staff introductions. So we just kind of saw our camp directors there briefly, but we have these three wonderful camp directors serving in this 2022 season. But to help get us to know you a little bit better, they're going to introduce themselves, and we're going to get through the rest of the key staff as well. So first up, we've got 3-point camp director Patrick Dalton. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Cool, thanks, John. So like you said, my name is Patrick Dalton. I'm an Eagle Scout from Mansfield, Massachusetts. Currently, I'm attending the University of Massachusetts Dartmouth, studying public administration and sustainability. But right now, I'm a full-time intern with the state of Rhode Island doing public policy for the DEM. And I'm looking forward to a great summer with everyone. But thanks, John.
Awesome. And moving along, we've got Medicine Bow Camp Director, Mr. Ethan Pachon.
Like John said, my name is Ethan. I was a member of Troop 65, Trumbull, Connecticut. This is going to be my 8th year working on staff. I'm currently a senior at the College of the Holy Cross in Worcester, Massachusetts, studying political science as well as rhetoric and composition. I work on the school's newspaper, but I'm super excited to get back to camp in a little under 2 months now.
Awesome. And our returning Sandy Beach Camp Director, Mr. Quentin Reynolds.
Hi, everyone. My name is Quentin. I will be returning this year as Sandy Beach Camp Director. Very excited. Currently, I am still working at camp, just working with the rangers, doing general maintenance of the property, even, building some new things and keeping things nice and awesome as Yawgoog typically is. And I look forward to seeing you all this summer.
Awesome. So who else is a part of the key staff? Miss Alexandria Wells as our business manager.
Hi, everyone. As John said, I'm Alexandria. This is my 4th year of returning as the business manager. In the off season, I study at the University of Connecticut. I am hopefully finishing up my degree this May in theater. So Saturday night shows are right up my alley. And I look forward to seeing everyone this summer.
Awesome. She is a wonderful help in the off season, helping keep me a little bit organized with troop registration and a million other things. So great to have her back. Not here in this webinar, we've got food services director, Mr. Sean Anderson. He was the assistant camp director over at Sandy Beach last year. So taking on a new role, but he is familiar with food and has worked in the 3 Point Kitchen and Sandy Beach Kitchen previously on staff. Also pictured, we have Mr. John Buno, the reservation superintendent. Also in that photo are our two rangers, Brian Mayer and Brendan Reynolds, has transitioned over from 3 Point Camp Director to a full-time ranger. So he is still around. All right, so what are we going to talk about in this meeting? We've got a wide variety of topics, and we want to get through all of them and make sure you guys have the most information you possibly can to get you geared up for this summer season. So schedule ferry busing, and we will move right on through those topics. So if you have a question, please put it through the Q&A, and we would love to answer those questions all throughout. All right, so starting right off, we've got the return of the Sunday to Sunday program. So last year we ran Sunday to Saturday, mixed it up a little bit. We had a little extra time to clean, make sure everything was kind of all set. But we're moving back to the Sunday to Sunday program that if you've come before, you know and love. But if it's your first time, you're going to experience it. And it is a week filled with lots of fun, lots of program activities, things to enjoy around camp. So some of that, which great tradition in camp. But one of the quotes that needed to be said, if some tradition of setting camp director in years to come ventures to do away with dress parade, I warn him my ghost will haunt him forever. And that was Chief J. Harold Williams. And that's mentioned in the Yawgoog story. I don't want any ghosts haunting me around, so that dress parade is coming back. We did not have it last year, and that was greatly missed. It's a great opportunity to recognize the accomplishments of the troops and see everyone that has come for the week and everything that everybody accomplished. So that will be back. Also to accompany it, we have the Monday retreat ceremony to get us prepared for that Sunday activity. So what else? We've got merit badge sessions. Everything's going to have those 5 merit badge sessions. So starting on a Monday afternoon, you're going to continue through Friday afternoon. But if you start on that Tuesday morning session, you are continuing through the Saturday morning. So we didn't have that last year when leaving a little bit early, but that's back this year. So that Sunday dress parade, the time mentioned there is 10:30 a.m. A little bit earlier. You guys do not need to be standing out in the hot sun. That is just not needed. So we moved it a little bit earlier. That does mean there's going to be no lunch offered. And I think that's mentioned somewhere else in the presentation. But 10:30 in the morning for the dress parade. Good question in there about the slide deck. Yes, I will make sure that that's available. This is also being recorded, so that way you guys can always reference back to it. We'll cut out a couple portions and make those available on social media as well if they seem super useful. So other changes you see there, Saturday show, that's back on Saturday. We had it on Friday last year. Tuesday barbecue, that is going to be back. So great opportunity there, and we'll talk more about that. But that's going to be back, a great opportunity for some steak, some chicken. Exciting time. Saturday swim carnival is going to be back in the afternoon. We did have that last year, but it was pushed to the morning to make sure we fit in everything. That's some of those changes. So moving right along with schedule changes. So that Sunday schedule, how's that kind of working? So we said the 10:30 dress parade on your end of the week, and then you're able to leave. But that arrival time, we had staggered arrival previously. We're still going to stick with that. It worked great to not have everybody try all and crowd in at one time. So we're going to have that start at 3:30, and then we'll have assigned times and explain kind of that process of how you find out what they are and when you'll get them. But those swim quals that we had last year on Sunday worked great. It made some of those troops not have to run around in a bathing suit and then try and get their picture taken. So that's going to be a big help, still decongesting the waterfront and making sure everyone gets their swim quals done. Departure Sunday after the dress parade, we mentioned. No lunch Sunday, yes. And then after that retreat ceremony on Monday, there will be a Scoutmaster meeting where I will get to go over a couple of things. All right. Some good schedule changes. Okay, so do you need to take the ferry? A lot of you, if you're living close, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, this is not really for you. If you are far away, but would need the ferry in Long Island, this is more for you. I've put a lot of information on this slide. This is all found on our website underneath the troop section, easily accessible for you there. But I just wanted to have the information accessible for you. The times have changed because of the dress parade changing. So the leaving camp time is 1 or 3:30 for those ferry times. And we'll get your bus there. And I believe that's at like 11:30, 11:45, right after the dress parade. So that can be all working out. Okay. Good question on can you come with swim quals finished? No, we require that everyone take the swim qual here. I know that other scout camps do allow that. We require that happens here. Program updates. So what's new to Yawgoog this year in terms of program activities? And what can you do all throughout the week and as well as Saturdays? So we've got a new range coming for BB and archery. So kind of cool, a little bit different. But we've already offered BB and archery at our ranges before. At the rifle range, we offered BB, and that's for our Weeblos program. So we've got a new range coming in just for this, and that's going to be to the left of the archery range as it is right now. So it'll be right there, centrally located, and that's going to accompany the Weeblos program for BBs and archery. But we're also introducing day camp this year. A couple of weeks of day camp, and we'll mention that in provisional opportunities. But that is coming to accommodate that and allow more shooting opportunities for the Weeblos. Originally, they were just able to shoot over lunch. So having this range will allow for a wider range of scheduling opportunities. Shotgun Program Center and Merit Badge return. So last year, we were unfortunately not able to offer the Shotgun Merit Badge. That is coming back. Free shoot for that merit badge is coming back as well. We are excited to bring that back. A lot of fun with that one, and a great opportunity for the older scouts. Adventure Island, the inflatable obstacle course on the water, is back. There's some things that have never been blown up, inflated yet, but will be inflated this year and tried out ahead of time. You know, quality control. We need to make sure that those inflatables work, that they are fun. So we will have staff definitely try those out ahead of time. That is all part of quality control. Day camp week 6 and 7, great new opportunity to get younger scouts into the Adventureland of Yawgoog. In week 8 only, a merit badge we have not offered. It's going to be held at the Craft Center. Model design merit badge, a great opportunity that will be offered week 8. Something new, something different, a reason to come back. Good question on the age restriction for shotgun. Yes, 15 years old, and the restrictions for all merit badges are listed on the merit badge schedule. It's a little difficult to understand, but on that merit badge schedule, there are the restrictions listed with numbers, and on the bottom of that schedule, the number corresponds with the restriction. So whether you have to be 14 or 15, whether that requires all sessions and participation, and that's how that works. So brand new, brand new, we've got the ATV program. So we haven't had this before. So it is a pilot program in terms of how we offer it. We got 6 ATVs, 6 Polaris 200s, and then we've got 2 of a higher quality for the instructor unit, instructor use. But 6 participants will be able to participate per merit badge session. So we've structured it so that there's no scheduling conflict. We want people to work this into how camp is already scheduled. So anyone that participates in this program would have it in a normal merit badge block. So who's eligible? The scouts that are 14 to 17. It is an older scout program. And in order to, we'll get into how to get selected in that in just a sec. But what are they doing in this program? Of course, they get to try out an ATV, and that's awesome. But they're learning how to do it safely. They work through the obstacles. They try them out ahead of time on a training course, and they complete an e-course ahead of time. And there's a lot of safety involved before they even get to go out into the wilderness with an instructor to make sure that they're following all the precautions necessary to ride an ATV safe. A great little fact in there is that BSA offers this ATV program partnered with Polaris because they want scouts to know how to ride an ATV safely, because it is an accident prone situation if there's not the proper training ahead of time. So where is this? At the Shea Shelter up on the Curtis track, all the way up there on the left. And the cost for this, which will be due upon registration, is $50 per participant. So how does this all work? And we can go to the next slide here. This works through a sign-up process from May 15th to 20th. So we're going to have a link that I will email out to you. I will have it on social media. We'll make sure this gets communicated widely so that every scout has the opportunity to take a peek and get signed up for this opportunity. But the selection process for this, there's a lot of scouts in a week, and knowing that there are only 6 ATVs per session, that allots for 24 spots to be filled. And that's not too many. So we hope that this program grows over time. But for selection for this first year, it's going to be a random selection. The way to be fair is to not be fair in this situation by just making it random. But fitting the criteria of being 14 to 17, because that is in the BSA requirements. So it's not going to be offered for adults this first year. We're hoping to work that in. But upon completion, you get a certificate that is good forever, is completely my understanding of it. So that in a future year, if you've already completed the safety training course, you'll be able to come back and do trail rides and other participation activities in this program. So it's a longer term thing. And we're looking into what opportunities we can have, because we'll have these ATVs year round. So what opportunities lay in the future? So we're looking into those opportunities and really looking forward to it. So that May 15th through 20th, make sure your scouts are looking on Instagram, on Facebook, on whatever it may be. But that link will be out there and available on the website for them to sign up. So that process of finding out if you've been selected, scouts will be notified June 1st. There's going to be a lot of information in there. An e-course is required ahead of time. Safety equipment may be needed for purchase if you don't have specific over the ankle boots or gloves or that. But all of that is going to be in the registration packet, clearly laid out. We're going to be providing helmets and goggles. So it's really like a long sleeve shirt, pants, gloves, and boots. But again, all of that will be in there. If you have more questions, we have an ATV page on our website, and the website's constantly being updated and improved. So good question if the ATV certification is valid at other camps with ATV programs. So this Polaris training is a Polaris certificate. It's not a specific Yawgoog certificate. This is good and program run through Polaris and partnered with them in the ATV Safety Institute. So that certificate is good through that program, which is good all throughout the United States. So any program that offers Polaris, that is good throughout that. And you can learn more about that if you search about the BSA ATV program. But great question there. All right, so moving along. We have the New Frontier program, and who better to talk about that than our Sandy Beach Camp Director, Mr. Quinton.
Thanks, John. So here at Camp Yawgoog, we have our New Frontiers program, which is very similar to most camps, like first-year camper program. But the benefits to our program are that we offer kind of like a rolling schedule for the week. So if you need, say, for instance, to work on some of your knots and lashings for a first or second class requirement, we offer that requirement at different times throughout the week. So say you can't make it during the 9 to 10:30 session on Tuesday, you can come and get it during the 3:30 to 5 session on Wednesday or whatever it may be. Our schedule's online. It's also in our leader's guide. And the New Frontier staff are extremely flexible. If you have a requirement that maybe you can't make it to the time that it's offered or scheduled, if you go down during the 7 to 8 session and you let them know that you need to work on that requirement, they are more than willing to work on it with you. Obviously, the more prior notice that you give them, the more ready they'll be to help you with that. We also offer tote and chip and firemanship at the New Frontier Center. And we also offer during that 7 to 8 session, tote and chip instructor and firemanship instructor. So if you have older scouts in your troop who are looking to teach those skills to younger scouts, we can certify them to be able to do that and then give tote and chip and firemanship to the younger scouts in your troop. So it's a great opportunity for scouts of all ages, even if scouts are just looking to improve on their knotting ability. Maybe they have a Scoutmaster conference coming up where they're going to have to demonstrate some of the knots that they learned. It's good to always freshen up on those things. And the New Frontier staff are perfect for that. New Frontier is held in Sandy Beach right next to our Campcraft Center. So like I said, they're super friendly and welcoming, and it's an extremely flexible program. So you don't have to send your scouts down there all day, every day. You can look at the schedule and see what is available, what they need to accomplish, and you can send them down at that time. And they will be able to get it done with our friendly staff. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Quentin. All right, so some provisional opportunities. 1 week of camp is definitely not enough. That's why we're all here the entire summer. And I am here 52 weeks out of the year, which still does not seem to be enough. But that is all right. So we've got some other opportunities to talk about, but who better to talk about that than our medicine boat camp director, Mr. Ethan.
Yep. So as John was alluding to, the provisional opportunities that we have at camp are the perfect chance for scouts that are truly enjoying their week or are so excited about camp from previous years that they want to spend even more time there. The one that's going to be most prevalent for scouts is the Fun, Friends, and Adventure program, which takes place in campsite Baden-Powell. This program gives scouts the opportunity to show up and make a whole new troop from Sunday to Sunday. They show up on Sunday night, they choose a senior patrol leader, assistant senior patrol leaders, make new friends from across the country, then go through the week as if they were a troop that has been together for years. Scouts from all ages, from 11 to 17, get to participate in the program. And with our experienced staff, they take part in every event, from the bake-off to the sailing regatta, whatever it may be, they act as if they are a real troop. This also has the added benefit of maybe earning a couple more merit badges, finishing a couple more requirements. Whatever it may be, Fun, Friends, and Adventure is the program to allow your scout that extra week at camp to do what they want to do. I went through the program as a scout. I made a lifelong friend there from Texas who still works at camp to this day. It's a great chance that you're never going to get anywhere else to have another week at camp at a discounted rate, which is even better. The next program is the Webelos Outdoor Adventure Program, which if you have an associated pack or you know some Webelos that are looking to spend some time at summer camp and will be going with your troop next year, this is the perfect opportunity for them to test out what camp is like. Our Webelos Outdoor Adventure Program is structured in a way that each Webelo has the chance to go and test out a program center. They get to spend a little time at the waterfront, a little time at the shooting ranges, a little time at the climbing center, all of it giving them a bit of a taste in a safe and controlled environment of what being a scout is going to be like. It is a great opportunity to earn a advancement towards their Arrow of Light, and then possibly come with your troop next year. The final program is the Yawgoog Leadership Experience. The Yawgoog Leadership Experience was formed in 2018 as an improved program on our CIT core program. It's a 2-week program in which scouts come to campsite Minikisu, which is located in Camp Medicine Bow, and they have the opportunity to spend 1 week in camp learning valuable leadership skills, including effective communication, the patrol method, while learning from our experienced staff that have leadership training. The second week, the experience week, is an opportunity for staff to go and work alongside our phenomenal Yawgoog staff at a variety of centers. So if they're interested in being a lifeguard, they can go spend time down at the waterfront. If they want to be a climbing instructor, they can go spend time at Challenge, learning from the staff, seeing them instruct, and also putting the tools that they learned from their first week in the program into effect in the second week. Scouts also aren't limited to those 2 weeks. They can sign up for multiple weeks as well. The only provision is that you cannot sign up to do the Yawgoog Leadership Experience or Friends and Adventure the week your troop is attending. I can personally say, from running the program to also the members of this panel, including John and Quentin, that went through the program, it's part of the reason that we're still here today. And it is a top class leadership development program that rivals the best in the country. As John alluded to earlier, we also have day camp, which is running weeks 6 and 7. So maybe you have a Webelo that's not, or a Cub Scout that's not going to make it the whole week, but they want to come try it out for a day. This is going to be a perfect opportunity for that. Each of our 3 programs, our Webelos program, our Fun Friends Adventure program, and our Yawgoog Leadership Experience, are being run by staff that have spent multiple years in the center, and in some cases directing the center. So you're not dropping off a scout with someone that doesn't know what they're doing. Each person that is running the center has years of experience and will run a phenomenal program for your scout that attends.
Awesome. Yeah, so thank you very much, Ethan. So we have some Order of the Arrow stuff, but there's someone better to talk about that than I. So we've got 3-Point Camp Director Patrick Dalton.
Jeez, I'm flattered, John. But hey, everybody. So yeah, I'll take a couple seconds to talk about the OA. So as it says on the screen in front of you, May 13th through 15, Tolpe Lodge will be hosting an ordeal at Yawgoog Scout Reservation. For that weekend, anyone who's been elected to the OA has the opportunity to go through their ordeal at Yawgoog. What's kind of unique about this opportunity, though, that's different from some of the other OA ordeals that go on and kind of makes it almost cooler, is that the folks going through this ordeal have the opportunity to kind of see the behind-the-scenes work of the Yawgoog staff and work alongside them. So if your scout attends Yawgoog and they've been elected to the OA, it's almost an even cooler opportunity to go through your ordeal at Yawgoog. You get to kind of see some of the secrets of the sauce being made. But it's a cool time. So if you've been elected to the Order of the Arrow, or even have a scout that's been elected to the Order of the Arrow in your unit, encourage them to come to camp May 13th through 15. Sign up for that can be found on tolpelodge.org/events. I believe it's been a while since I've poked around on there. But the second thing you'll see on your screen right now, a little bit later in the year, but still coming up quick, is New England Fellowship, June 10 through 12. So also at Yawgoog Scout Reservation, Tolpe Lodge has the opportunity to host a even cooler event, if that's possible, where we actually open camp and some of our program centers for the weekend to Order of the Arrow members from across New England. So folks will be traveling in on buses or even driving in to Yawgoog for the weekend. Then Yawgoog will be providing them the unique one-of-a-kind program that we run all summer, but unique to them for the weekend. So a really cool opportunity for any current OA members. Again, you can find out more on tolpelodge.org/NEF, I think is this one. But yeah, two really cool opportunities, and I totally suggest it for your scouts.
Awesome. All right. And if that's not enough camp, we've got something else. NYLT, nationally recognized National Youth Leadership Training. It is offered August 15th through 20th, which happens to line up in our week 8 program. This is hosted at Yawgoog, but it's an awesome opportunity to get this nationally recognized training accomplished. Right. So we're getting into the administration and making sure all the final detail stuff is all set. So to talk about that, we've got our business manager, Miss Alexandria Wells.
Yeah, so as John said, the Tuesday barbecues are back. Woo. You can find information about this on our website. The label for the page is SM/SPL barbecue. It goes by many different names, but essentially the Tuesday before your arrival at camp, we invite everyone to come join us in the Donald North Court, which is right near the Buckland building. We are serving chicken and steak. We do ask that you order your tickets ahead of time because we make that food ahead of time. So we want to make sure we can serve everyone. And there is a cost associated with the meal. If you would not like to join us for dinner, that's perfectly fine. You can come just for the meeting. But essentially what happens is we're all going to eat together in the Donald North Court. After our meal, all of the adult leaders will be brought up to the memorial room and you will all join us and we'll have a brief little meeting, and the SPLs will stay with the program commissioners in the Donald North Court, play some cope games and get kind of the same introductory information. What we're talking about while we're in these meetings includes those the program request sheets, which would be your time on Adventure Island, hikes with the nature staff over lunch. If you'd like to do an overnighter at a different campsite or on the across the pond, we'll be talking about that. We'll also be covering any last minute information when it comes to COVID-19 and all of that. As we know, things change at a moment's notice. So we will have that information for you 100% finalized in those moments. And you will also have the opportunity to come discuss your reservation with myself and the office staff. If you have any missing health form information, any payments that you'd like to make, maybe some last minute additions to your roster, we can figure it all out then. But yes, I see a question. I actually don't know the answer to this. Is there a vegetarian option for the Tuesday barbecue?
Yes. Either email me, or if there's a way to make a note in the registration, make a note of that. Otherwise, please email me and make sure I get that, but we can make that happen. There's also a question about the cost. That's a good question. It is $8 for chicken and $14 for steak. And that is available on our website. So in the Tuesday barbecue section, in that troop section, that's available.
Yes, it is the Tuesday before the troop week. But if you cannot make that Tuesday, just let us know. We'll be able to make some accommodations. If you can come 2 weeks prior or whatever, we'll make it work.
And I'll answer right now the leaders question. That's a very good question, that it happens all over. Sometimes troops like to have one leader come in part of the week and another leader come in that other part. So we do it based on bed and dining hall space. So if you're eating and sleeping, that means you should be paying for a bunk for a space. So we offer the 3 leaders. So that means 3 bed spaces and 3 dining hall spaces of meals. So if you have 5 or 6 coming in throughout the week, but that means 3 people are only eating in the dining hall and 3 people are only sleeping, that means you're only needing to pay for the 3. But each troop gets 3 leaders free. And then it's more after, I believe it's 12 scouts additional after that, but every troop at least gets 3 leaders free. So I hope that should clarify that. Good question. The payment that was due on 2/28. Good question. So that is still due. You still owe that money. It is available through the same link in the troop section, and it still says the February 28th deposit. So if you had gotten that, not gotten to that yet, please submit that, and we'll talk about payments and how that might work. Okay, I think that's actually next. All right, so Alex, did you want to talk any more on this? Did you want to do this? Do you want me to kind of go in and then you'll correct me when I mess up?
I don't think you'll mess up, but you can go in.
All right, so the final payment packet and collection that we do. So those packets of all of the information, and we'll talk about that, what it consists of in just a sec. That's going to be due 30 days prior to your arrival at camp. This is to help us process things in a speedy way to make sure that everything is all straightened out. But we want that packet to have everything in it. So if a scout's coming, they're going to need a medical form, and you'll need to know certain information about them. But that should all be filled out and completed, and their payment should be in that final pack. So if everything's all together, that's great. But if a scout is missing something, that's okay, and it happens. People might not be the most organized. I know it happens with me all the time, but we're working on that, and scouts will work on that. And to kind of help us with that, it's okay if you don't get it in altogether. But what we want you to send us that 30 days prior is everyone that has been organized and gotten all of that information, the health form, and their payment all together for you. And we want that 30 days in advance for everyone. But if that scout is missing a health form, we don't want you to say that you have everyone all accounted for and all of their information, because that's going to make us pull things out and take a lot of time during the actual check-in process, when if you waited and just brought it with you and said, here's the payment, here's the medical form, here's everything I need for this one scout to add on, that's perfect. We can just check the box and add them to the roster, and that's great. So what we want you to send us is everything all complete. And if you have anything to add on, that's great. And please do that, and you can keep adding on up until your arrival at camp. But we ask that you send us this troop roster. The troop roster is really important because that gets us the actual numbers. Payments we can do when you get here. We can figure out those finalized numbers and make sure that's all set for you. But those numbers ahead of time affect a lot of things. They affect the food numbers that we order. They affect how many bunks, how many tents, how many spaces in the dining hall, all of the little details you might not think about ahead of time that help us get you situated for the week. So if you send us that roster saying, okay, in my final payment packet, I said I had 12 scouts coming, but 3 of them I didn't put in because they didn't have medical forms. That's really important for us to know. So you would actually have 15 scouts coming, which might mean you might need another tent there, and a couple other bunks and that. So the way to process that is through the update roster form on the website. So this form, you can, if you want to click on that link, we can walk through it. It's just asking for the roster and a little bit more information so we can track those number changes. So if you've added people to it, that's going to help us get that situated. But this is really important for us to get that kind of checked out. Underneath there, you see the 2022 check-in information list, and you can look at that either there or in the troop section. It's mirrored, so that way it's accessible just about anywhere. But this is all the information we're talking about when it's final payments. And if you have questions related to that, that's where you're going to need to go. All of this information, what exactly is in that final packet? If you want to click to the next one, it's the pre-check-in information. So payments, rosters, health forms, unit behavior plans, linked unit letters, medication, check-in, and all of that fun stuff. So there's quite a couple of things that are due, but that checklist is on that top form that we just showed you on the website, where you can check off the boxes and make sure that everything's all set. So there are some Yawgoog specific things that we ask you. And then there's a section on the right that's asking for like religious affiliation and something aquatics related and that's stuff that we'll use. So if your scout is completing daily services or a service award, that's where that will get entered in at some point. But no need to worry about that if you don't fill it out ahead of time. But the waterfront one is where we fill in on our end for the swim tests, the level of swimming ability. But all of this 2022 pre-check-in information is all found right there in a nice bundle in a couple locations on the website for your convenience. If you have had a linked unit in the past, please send in the letter again. If you have a copy of that already, send in that same letter. If nothing's changed, if that charter organization representative has not changed, that's fine to send it. But if people have changed throughout, please kind of get that updated so we know that that's all set. All right, so yeah, so when you send in that packet of all the things that we're asking for, what happens if there are a couple mistakes, if you need to correct something, all of that. So at some point when we are processing, we are going to mark off what corrections are needed and make sure that you know the details, and you'll receive an email. In that email, it's going to tell you that check-in time. So that's when you'll find that out. After you sent in that paperwork, we've checked and made sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed to make sure all those finer details are checked. You'll get that check-in information, the swim qual information, and figure out any of the finer details that. All right. Health forms, a great topic. So everyone needs a health form that is staying overnight or to be participating in activity. So it needs to be the 30 days in advance. We are asking for that, but we realize that that may not happen for physical reasons or however, and those add-on reasons. But that Sunday check-in, that is needed. That is really needed. Anyone that's staying in camp needs to have that full ABC health form completed. So we are asking, and this is a change from prior years. It had been 15 months. It is now 12 months. And leaders guides that had gotten mailed out, I don't know, it may say 15 months in there. I've put that out in email. I've corrected it on the website. I'm correcting it here now. So that way it is out there. It should be 12 months for that doctor's signature. I had a great question come in about Connecticut has a specific school required medical form that requires the doctor's signature for the school. Excellent. That makes it even easier. You can attach that. And if you read through on our website, there's specific details where schools require those forms anyway. So we just allow you to submit that in addition to it to kind of accommodate that requirement. But the big one on that is the 12 months for that doctor's signature. All right. Employment opportunity. So We are still looking for staff. We'd love to have your scouts get the opportunity to work at camp. And in this day and age, there's opportunities just about everywhere. Social media influencers, working at Burger King, all over. We've heard a lot of new opportunities that people hadn't been taking advantage from before, and they're trying them out this year. So we needed to be more competitive. So we upped the starting salary from $1,400 to $2,000 for the whole summer. So that's a substantial increase. We're also making massive improvements to our staff lounges all across the board in Medicine Bow and Sandy Beach. With the addition of the new 3-point dining hall and the air-conditioned lounge, we really needed to look at what we can do to improve Medicine Bow and Sandy Beach and their comfort level and their staff lounges. So we are renovating those and adding in improvements to make sure they are comfortable as well. But scholarships, we got a phenomenal donation this year that's focused on retention because school is difficult to afford. It gets more expensive every year, but scholarships provide a great opportunity to both be able to work at camp, but also be able to study education. So we're excited to present over 25 scholarship opportunities this year for over $40,000. And the newest addition are retention scholarships. So they are a $2,500 scholarship that is going to be awarded to 10 staff. And if that staff is a first-year college student and they're going through a 4-year program per se, that scholarship is good for those 4 years. So they would be receiving $2,500 each year on that. So it's a huge opportunity for those older staff just starting off in college or still in college to get a scholarship. But if you know somebody that has interest, might be waiting, tell them to apply. We are still accepting. So moving along, one of the big questions, COVID-19 preparations. So last year, we had a great success for camp overall. It was impressive to see no community spread, which was phenomenal. And we followed the method of defend the castle, which meant we did testing ahead of the time. And we work with an organization called DMAT last year to provide the testing, Disaster Medical Assistance Team in Rhode Island. So they helped us make that process of defending the castle work, and we did not have any community spread. So that was successful. And we're working again with them this year to make sure that we have testing available at the Health Watch and developing a process for how we deal with COVID in this day and age. As everyone knows, and things have changed over the past couple of years quite a bit. And we know that things can change within the next couple of months too. So we're just evaluating this as if camp were to open tomorrow. So if it were to open tomorrow, we're saying that everyone needs to perform a self-screening assessment ahead of time. And most of you are doing this already on a daily basis. Am I feeling okay? I have a fever. I'm sweating. I really don't feel well today. And that self-screening assessment will be provided on the website. June 1st is our target deadline, so that way you have enough time to get it out to your scouts and know it. But that's going to look like your generic checklist of symptoms and that. It's not going to be anything special or out of the norm with that. But we are asking that everyone do that check ahead of time and follow those check boxes and make sure that they're feeling well. And that Scoutmasters are presenting a completed roster checkbox that everyone has done this on their check. So that needs to be turned in by adult leaders for checking. Scouts aren't feeling well and the symptoms line up that they need a COVID test. Those will be available at the Health Lodge. no singing in the dining halls. Last year, this was the same case. Previously, it is a gigantic tradition in Yawgoog that we sing in the dining halls throughout the meals and have a singing time. We are asking that continue this year to not sing. Unfortunately, that is what we have to do when we are providing the risk assessment for everyone. Everyone has their own beliefs, acknowledgements, feelings towards COVID. But when we have to make this decision, we pass it along to a risk management committee and have to determine the amount of risk we are willing to take. And we've had cases with norovirus way back there when, and based on those assessments and this day and age and other findings, this is what we are saying we need to do. The vaccination record. So if you are vaccinated, please attach a copy of that vaccination record with your health org. But if you are not vaccinated, you could not provide a record. So don't do that. We are not requiring you to be vaccinated. But if you do have that record, please provide a copy with your health form. And that's kind of how we are handling that. I think that's about it for COVID and the COVID questions. All right, visitors. So last year we really had a strict no visitors policy, and we would like to loosen that up quite a bit more. We like seeing other people around. We like having visitors come in and out, but we are discouraging family nights, and that is attributed to less homesickness. This isn't just our view on this or anything, but overall, when a scout gets dropped off and they have to stick it out throughout the week, they manage to get through, and it's quite a learning experience. But the family nights that happen throughout the week, those seem to draw a lot of homesickness, and scouts tend to go home after those family nights. So we are discouraging those, but visitors overall are allowed. It'll be a quick QR code self-screening assessment that everyone will be doing ahead of time, and you'll receive that wristband as well. Okay. Blood drives. So these are the little quick reminders. Blood drives still happening, absolutely. They've got a cool patch lined up, and I'm excited for that. But the sign up will be available at the Buckland, so make sure you do that. Make sure you come ready to give blood if you are able to, and there's more information on our website about that. Is there a daily guest fee? All right, that's a good question. There is not. But please remember that if you have guests coming in and that they are not paid for, we have not allocated space in the dining hall for them. So that should be kind of known. There's a lot of troops that do cooking in their sites and when visitors come by and that sort of thing. So there's spaces available, and however that might work out. But there's not a guest fee in general. So good question.
They also cannot swim at the waterfront or participate in any of the activities on the ranges.
Correct. Other questions? Okay, is the 12 months for medical down to the start? Good question. So we're doing it to the day, 12 months to the day. So it would be 12 months and 6 days. That would be too much. We are doing it 12 months to the day. That is a good question. Any mask requirements inside? Good question. Again, we are not, as of right now, requiring any masking. Good question.
John, in the chat, there's a good good question about the prerequisites list.
Yes. Okay. So on the, can you pull up the Scouts page on the website, Alexandria? And then,
Ooh.
oh, that's not good. Okay. So in the leaders guide, at least you've got some there. That's a good question. I will make sure this is updated on the Scouts page that we just pulled up. That'll be updated within the next 24 hours, I'm going to say. And that's going to have the prerequisite information. But where it's bolded and not, there's a specific larger paper that has a longer list that's not in the leader's guide that can be referenced to kind of understand that. But there's requirements that are nice if you can do them ahead of time, if you have that opportunity, but could also be performed at camp if needed. They would just open up more space in the Scout schedule if they're done ahead of time. And I think that's what the bold or italicized is referencing. That's the one. That's the one. Okay. Full program sheet. Merit badge classes for the activities. Okay. Yes. The program request sheet. So if you're signing up for an activity that happens to just be the Thursday over luncher, and they're going to miss their 2 o'clock session for however it may be. If you're missing a merit badge, that's okay. But communication ahead of time on that happening is what needs to happen. So letting the counselor know that your troop is participating in a Thursday over luncher, so that way they can figure out, okay, we've also got a class in the morning and that Scout's not taking a merit badge and would be available then. They could complete their requirements then, or figure out another time where that might be available to get those requirements figured out. But the Scout would be missing that merit badge class time for that activity. Good question.
I think this is a question for new units that haven't been to camp with us. Scouts are not required to sign up for merit badges ahead of time. They just show up to that session on the first day and they're signed up. If they change their mind the next day and they want to do a different merit badge during the second session, they absolutely can. Just have them go talk to the counselor. We'll help them make up those requirements for the first day that they missed.
Uniform in the dining hall. What if you can't get one? That is okay. We recommend that troops wear their class B in the dining hall for breakfast and lunch, and then we ask that troops wear class A for dinner. But certain accommodations can be made if needed. Absolutely. Still only one adult lounge. So good question. There are other areas where adults kind of gather on the Sandy Beach stage in the dining halls, but that Factors Club is really that main adult area with the best coffee around too. Good question. Do Scouts need to have a blue card or will a report be given at the end? So as of right now, there's no report that exists, but we collect all of the rosters. So I can look up individually, and I do look up individually based on a reporting system or questions asked and mail out blue cards accordingly. So we ask that they have the blue card. We have extras if needed. They're in the camp offices around if that's needed. But we do ask that the blue cards are brought to the merit badge, so that way their paperwork can be completed. Will the slides be shared with us? I will make a PDF and finalize it and make that available on the website. Absolutely. Coffee does rock. Absolutely. Describe it to you. Does Quentin, would you know anything better than me on the canoe overnight?
Yeah, so the canoe overnight, you sign up with your program commissioner, and then what you will do is you and your troop will gather up your things, and you'll head down to the waterfront, and you guys will head over there on your own accord. We don't send any staff over there with you guys. And the one real big rule that we have is there's no fires on the other side of the pond, because it would be really hard to get over there to put them out. That's essentially the canoe overnight, and then you just make sure you want to be back before breakfast the next morning. And if you're not, we go looking for you.
True. We will find you. The question on how many scouts would be bunking in one tent varies on a number of questions, how many scouts you're bringing and all of that, but our tents are generally 10 by 12 or 12 by 16, sleeping 6 to 8 scouts in a tent, or Adirondack shelter, depending on your site. But they are large, they're patrol sized, intended for the patrol. Are hammocks allowed at a site? Yes, they are. But in the Guide to Safe Scouting or in a safety briefing, they talked about hammocking setup. And as a lot of scouts like to make layers and sleep all one on top of the other, that is not allowed. So if we're seeing that, we have to say, please take the hammocks down. They should be spaced out, only one, so that way a scout cannot fall on top of each other, but they will be allowed. Yep, and they are patrol based. And yep. How is cell phone reception at camp? Good question. Depending on the provider, it's pretty good. There's better signal in some areas than others. The Factors Club is the best place to find out where some of those spots are, but you'll at least get Wi-Fi there, and then the DNC would have some signal to get calls in there. Can adults bring their own tents? Yes, if you want to stay in your own tent, that is okay, but we are providing a tent for you like that. Leaders in a separate tent, yes. We are a Scouts BSA camp, and I know that some camps operate family camping and that, but we just operate Scouts BSA camping, which does not allow for family camping style accommodations to be used. So adults and scouts are separately accommodated. Ooh, if we can incorporate the Q&A, that is a good question. I'll see what I can do. We'll try and get these questions. I'll at least copy and paste something so that way we get some of that content in. Are there cots? Yes. So we have bunks that are for scouts that are too high, so kind of bunk bed style, and then cots for adult leaders. I've never used a bug net, but I've used different bug sprays and off fans and all of that style things. But some people do prefer bug nets. We offer them on our website through the trading post and also available here. If you do order it ahead of time, you can have it available for check-in. So that's kind of nice. Or ordered to you ahead of time so you can bring it with you, already have it. For clarification, it is 2 years between scouts for the BSA rule, but we have patrol style tents, so it's a different style of tenting. All right. So what do we do now? So we've kind of finished this, and there's some couple more questions trickling in, and we'll answer those up. But where can you get your questions answered? So on the website, there's a contact us right on the home screen. My email, I'm going to put it in the chat right now. Yawgoog@scouting.org if you need one to remember, and jonathan.delulio@scouting.org. I also remember now that I didn't really introduce myself at all. I got to introduce everyone else, but I've been leading you through this entire presentation without telling you who I am. So I guess thank you for staying till the end to learn that. But my name is Jonathan Delulio. I am a Rhode Island native from North Scituate, hometown Troop 2 North Scituate. My dad is still the Scoutmaster over there, and they attend week 3. So I've had some experience up in Sandy Beach. This is going to be my 11th summer working on staff, so I'm really excited to provide some answers and the opportunity to work a lot closer with you guys this year. Previously, for the past 5 years, I've been the food services director. So making sure you guys have food on the table for your scouts and scouters to eat has been largely my role, as well as a variety of other behind the scenes tasks that you might not know even need to get done. But I'm very excited to be taking up this role now. I know that Tom served 23 years, so that's quite a while. I am only 25 years old right now, so that means I've got at least 23 years left in me. So I'm excited to start this this journey with you forward, and I'm looking forward to answering any questions and being whatever help I can to making sure you guys have a great experience. We'll finish up with these last couple of questions, but thank you guys very much for attending the webinar. Overall, food will be different this year. We're adding in a couple meals, returning some of them that have been on the menu in the past 5 to 6 years. And that menu is available right now on the website. All right, but I think that's everything. If you guys have more, please feel free to send an email and make sure we get those answers to you. Coffee ice cream is still available and will be Saturday nights. Do you have enough female staff for merit badges, or should female scouts have another female? Our merit badges are co-ed. They do not need to be taught separately. They are co-ed taught. We have both female and male counselors all over reservation. So I hope that answers that. But thank you very much. All right. Q&A is still happening. My Q&A is not popping up, so I don't know. It shows that there's 2 in it, but I can't.
You can register for IOLS ahead of time. You do not have to. If you decide last minute, or one of the leaders decides last minute they would like to do it while you stay for the week, just come to the office. You can make the payment there. I believe IOLS starts on Tuesday night. Correct me if I'm wrong, any camp directors? Yep. Tuesday night into Wednesday. You can also sign up ahead of time on the website under the adult, I believe it's called Scoutmaster Training on our website.
All right, and I think we're going to end it there. Any other questions, please feel free to email, and take care. Have a wonderful night. Bye now.